Hell no, we won't go. Is that the new motto of the United States Armed Forces on the eve of a possible war with Syria? Or have we been hacked by the Syrian government? I'm Steve Green, this is Trifecta, and here to answer that question and more, Scott Ott, and filling in for Bill Whittle this week, my talk radio goddess, Tammy Bruce. Thanks for filling in this week, Tammy. It's always a pleasure having you on board.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, over the weekend, my pleasure. All right, over the weekend, photos like this one surfaced on Facebook and around the internet. Now, that Marine sign there says, "I didn't join the Navy to fight for Al-Qaeda in a Syrian civil war." Others soon followed, all with similar messages, all hiding their faces. Now, my first thought when I saw these was, wow, we are in bad shape. But then Tammy here forwarded me this news report that Syrian hackers had defaced the Marine Corps' own website with these very same photos. Tammy, is this whole thing a Syrian psyops job, or do you think these are real servicemen expressing some real qualms about Obama's foreign policy?
You know, I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think that the first one that we all saw go viral, which was, again, as you noted, a sign with in front of a face of a Navy man, showed up first on Facebook, and it really made a stir. I think then, of course, we know that the Syrian Electronic Army, or whatever they're calling themselves, hacked Marines.com, which is the recruitment site, and placed many more along with them. You know, I'm not sure how they would be able to do it with such detail in the uniforms. Again, I do think the first one's accurate. I'm not sure about the other ones, though. And look, I mean, they're making an argument based on that framework. It's like, you guys, this is not your fight. We're fighting against Al-Qaeda like you. And I'm just a little disappointed that the Syrians are doing psyops before we are.
Oh, I'm going to get to that in just a sec. But first, let's put up that last shot again. This last one I found, and it reads, "I didn't sign up to kill the poor for the rich. No war in Syria." That one I'm pretty sure is a fake. That's just a standard camo jacket. And he's using the language of the progressive left. He's using the language of the third world. That's not how our servicemen and women speak. Scott, Tammy brought up a great point. You know, this country invented Photoshop. We invented meme generator. We have the most creative people on the earth right here in the U.S. So why aren't Americans the ones taking to the virtual streets and waging psychological warfare on the Assad regime?
Well, I think part of it is because Americans aren't sure who's really the bad guy in this situation. So on whom shall we wage war? I mean, I heard something like only 9% of the American public says, go, yeah, we ought to do something military over there. A lot of people have some serious qualms about it. So, you know, the Assad regime has the benefit of unity enforced. They have the benefit of, you know, there's only one opinion in the Assad regime, and they can put that into place. So the Syrian Electronic Army is doing the bidding of their master. We don't have that in the American public. Here we have freedom. We have the freedom to express our dissent. Unfortunately, and I think these guys, if any of these are legitimate military guys, they have gone over the line. They do not, when they sign up, have the freedom to decide that they're going to be to object without actually leaving military service.
Well, can I take issue with that a little bit, Scott, though? If I just may say, though, that in fact, when you do sign up, you sign up to defend the country, and you sign up to defend the Constitution, and it becomes, when you believe that there's a commander-in-chief or a dynamic that is asking you to go and fight alongside who has been our enemy, for whom maybe you signed up to fight Al-Qaeda. I think that and when you've got such a weak, in my opinion, commander-in-chief, don't you think it invites suddenly some questioning about your mission? That's a good question.
I think it does, Tammy, but I don't think the military guys, I'm sorry, I had to jump in here. I really don't think it's appropriate for individual military guys to begin challenging the orders of the commander-in-chief, as they have not even been given yet. And it's not appropriate for them to be trying to sort of do this sort of crowdsource lobbying of Congress and the presidency by putting their uniforms on and then putting their personal opinion in front of that uniform. I think they've stepped over the line here.
All right. Well, we need to wrap this up. And folks, if these photos are real, there might just be some service personnel about to spend some quality time in the stockade. I hope not. But there's no way to know for sure until and unless the go order is given and then some refuse to do their duty. But let me give the last word to one young soldier who was brave enough to actually show his face. He writes, "You don't join to say, I refuse. You don't join to hide your face. You don't join to push your ideology. You join to serve. Now quit making signs and get the back to work." Now that sounds like one of America's 4 real fighting men. For For Tammy Bruce and Scott Ott, I'm Steve Green.